Joe Smith. I'm specifications manager for Scott Parnell. Scott Parnell, for any of you who don't know, we are essentially the merchant. Want for a better term, a builder's merchant. I'll do a very, very brief couple of slides on us. I won't do it on us too much, but we are the national exclusive sole distributor, if you like, for Lineworx Drainage channel. It falls under one of our sort of sustainable, innovative rail specialist product range. Hence why I'm here. Giving a presentation, we do a lot of this engagement on behalf of Lineworx, essentially. So yeah, we also do a lot of the research and development of these products and general sort of promotion of them and technical side as well. So yeah, I guess without further ado, Lineworx Drainage channel. I'm going to start flicking through slides now. So if it doesn't change for anybody, please do type up. Okay, so got a bit of an issue. You can't really see the slides, can you? Because this box is in the way. So I was talking to the guys actually in the room here. That's better. Okay. Okay, so who are Scott Parnell? We're independent merchants, the infrastructure sector. Yes, infrastructure in terms of rail, but we also we started. It started 12 years ago, more geared towards construction, housing, so groundworks, drainage, so on and so on. Over those 12 years, the company has grown exponentially for us to now have dedicated rail, highways, water management, standalone HS2, and geotechnical team. We are still a group that will very much work as one, but have our specific divisions, and I myself work within the rail division. Which allows us to obviously specialise and really hone down into who we're dealing with, if you like. We're an employee-owned trust. That happened about a year ago. The two owners that formed the company basically put us into employee-owned trust just over a year ago to essentially stop any buyouts from the major building merchant chains, if you like, to keep us remaining independent. To get that go ahead for a buyout, they need essentially the go ahead now of all 250 plus employees in the company. It's very, very unlikely it will happen. And that allows us to sort of give a bit more of an independence service, if you like, in terms of why I'm here, from technical side right the way through to sales staff. Gives us that opportunity to sort of engage with the customers on a lot sort of more personal basis. With national distribution and transport network, we have yards, depots, branches, whatever you want to sort of phrase them as, in all four corners of the country. We have a rail office right up in Glasgow, one all the way down in Kent in Maidstone, and in between we have our branches, yards, depots, and so on. If your materials are not coming on the back of a Scott Parnell HIAB, we tie in all the third-party distribution, haulage, etc. as well with the third-party suppliers we're going to on your behalf. So our reach is far-reaching. Forward-thinking business strategy, and we have an innovative product portfolio, especially within the rail division. We have a sort of a selection, if you like, of around 10 products that span most disciplines, that we'd like to think sort of tick innovative, sustainable boxes rather than us just pumping out construction materials to everybody. We have this specific sort of innovative rail range that we also do a lot of work in promoting, and Lineworx falls within that category. Rail, us as a rail division, is around about sort of 25 to 30 people work specifically in the rail division. It's made up of vast backgrounds, understanding the project from every aspect. Just that little comment at the bottom there. But yes, we have people we're not just sales staff, we're not just builders merchants. I myself have done 21 years track-based from an apprentice, from 18 years old to grand old age of 40 now. Been working Scott Parnell for the last year, just in his specifications and technical role. Prior to that, I was just pure rail construction from an apprentice right through to sort of site management, construction management level, and cross disciplines from signalling to civils. So yeah, so I myself have that background. There's others like me as well. We've got people from manufacturing background. We've got people from merchant sector. Yeah, so knowledge wise, it's pretty comprehensive from us really. Next slide. There we go. Innovative product portfolio. Sorry, again, I won't dwell on it too much. We're here specifically for Lineworx, and Lineworx falls within this product range we have. But when we bring a product into that specific portfolio, the product criteria we look at is to reduce carbon in construction, improve safety around installation, reduce overall lifespan project cost, and reduce long-term maintenance. And our target sectors are pretty much cross-discipline, really. We have products that fit into structures, drainage, civil, signalling, and station, or if you like, building construction. That's me sort of breezing over Scott Parnell, who we are and what we do. We'll now then move into the Lineworx, is what you're all here for. First of all, it's one of those nice presentations. I'm going to start this off with a short animation. It really will give you. I said to the guys in the room earlier, we're looking at a concrete drainage channel here. Even Lineworx will use this term in that it very much does what it says on the tin as a product. It's a concrete drainage channel. We believe it's got a few little nuances and tweaks to the system that we believe make it stand out above others, and it is very, very suited to the rail environment. But really, from this couple of minute animation, you'll get a very clear picture of exactly kind of what we're looking at. And then I will briefly sort of back that up running through a few slides just to sort of break it down for you. So if this, here we go, this is when the link isn't going to work. Okay. Is that shared via Teams? Or are you still looking at the same screen? Let me come back here. Let me share. Sorry, bear with me. Stop sharing that. But then I share. There we go. How's that for? Has that come up on your Teams? But not for you guys up there, has it? I'll tell you what we'll do. To save flicking around, we'll come. Yeah, but you could. Have you got it on? You got it on your laptop on Teams? Yeah, sound okay. Well, look, here we go. Is that playing for everyone? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we go back to the main presentation. Did everybody get to see that little animation or that video? Yeah, assuming so. Okay, so just does everybody have that sort of presentation screen back up now? Is that resharing now? Okay, great. We're carried. So I've sort of said formalities wise, I'd like to keep these like pretty informal sessions really. I think I noticed someone with their hand up, but please, I won't pick up on that. So if you just want to, if you just want to, we can wait till the end for sort of a Q&A, or if there's something that's in your head you want to share, please just basically just pipe up, and I'll stop where we are. And we can discuss.
Yeah, if anybody wants to ask a question by putting something in the chat box, feel free to do so. Or just unmute your microphones and ask the question.
Okay, yeah, so just backing up really, a few slides to back up what we've just kind of seen on that animation. Yeah, it's a concrete drainage channel. It's made up of this is going to grow as we go through presentation actually, but essentially the basis of it is these 5 sections that's what make it modular, and how we construct up through the water table, if you like, with the channel. We've got a base unit. I mean, anyone who's spent probably 5 years knocking around on the infrastructure will see that from this photo alone, the profile of that concrete section looks very much like a piece of Anderton cable trough. That's because Anderton's manufacture it. So Lineworx are the system, if you like, but Anderton Concrete cast and manufactured this for them. And it was based around an Anderton concrete section. Only difference being is that rather than being 1 meter long sections, which are kind of your standard for a cable trough, these are 750 mm long, and that just came down from when the system was developed, purely down to weight. They wanted to make it as manhandleable as possible. We'll go through the different sizes within the system, and there are some bigger sizes, but generally the smallest size and the intermediate size is manhandleable, and that 750 section brought it down to a weight that we would consider more manhandleable. So yeah, you have a base unit, an intermediate unit, a half riser unit, so essentially a thinner intermediate unit, if you like, tapered riser units, which enable you to go through your rises and falls and undulation in ground level, and the depths of how you want to be managing your water table, and a cover unit. Again, basically a trough lid that's slotted, cast with slots in it. Oh, and the differences between a piece of Anderton concrete trough is obviously it has holes throughout the casting, is perforated. It's a perforated system. So as I said, the system itself is actually made up of these 3 different sizes. We have a 150 series, 300 series, and 600 series. And as you'll see, those sizes, if you can if you can zoom in enough, are roughly based around the internal width of the base unit, basically. 150, 300, 600, there or thereabouts. Like I said, the 150 and 300 series, very much manhandleable. The 600 series, pushing it a bit there. A base unit of the 600 series, about 50 kilos. So it's a two-man lift, or we'll go a few slides through. You'll see that there's actual specific mechanical lifting aids for it. But as you see, it gives the versatility in the system. Depending on your flow rates and how much water you're actually trying to manage, you can move through those different sizes. You can, again, if you've got narrow 6 foot stuff like that, you can put, and you want to sort of, you've got more, so you can pair up a 300 series and have a 150 series laying next to it. The system will still work, will integrate with different sizes. Yeah, so the video sort of touched on it briefly as well. The product benefits, easy to inspect and maintain over perforated pipe. They probably haven't seen much of this out on Network Rail infrastructure, but it is all over TfL infrastructure. So DLR and London Underground, London Overground, they absolutely love it in their depots. Because of the ease of inspection, if you imagine all the washer roads, all the cleaners pumping out into the drainage on the sort of servicing sidings, blockages are common. Whereas with this, you're not trying to find that blockage within a run, a 30-metre or 60-metre run of perforated pipe. You're essentially flipping a trough lid, and you can then move your way down that drainage run. It's much easier to find where you've got a fault within that run, if you like. And again, when it comes to when you find that fault or you find that blockage, it's going to be much easier to jet from where that one spot, basically. No requirements for catch pits. So you can build a catch pit. So rather than having to pair this channel, as you would with another channel or a pipe, you'd have to pair it with an aqua catch pit or a cubis catch pit or so on and so on. It works again very, very well in tight 6 foot height cesses through tunnel sections where you've got the core balls of your tunnel wall, because you don't need to put a separate system catch pit in there, if you like. You can just, if you can visualize it, sink a base unit in deeper. So every 30 meters, 60 meters, whatever you're down in your design showing, you can put that base unit in deeper to act as your catch pit, and then build your risers up from there. Now, this is where the system's moved on slightly. We haven't got quite around to updating this presentation yet, because it's happening as we speak. Traditionally, when you sunk that base unit in deeper, it's still not a sealed unit because you're sticking in a perforated base unit. So the recommendation would be to line it with a DPM or so on and so on. Now, what we're moving into now, and details being put together, and Andertons have cast some samples already, is a solid, so a sealed complete base unit, essentially, still with the same dimensions and the same profiles as what we traditionally have with the Lineworx, so it fits in. You can now sink in that sump and then carry on your draining run, but it will be sealed. So all your sealed encapsulation and capture will remain in a sealed unit, rather than you almost, want for a better term, bastardize, essentially, if you like, that sump with additional sort of materials. And that's great. So what we'll do is, wherever your catch pit run happens to be, they will supply a blue or whatever colour you want GRP lid for ease of, to show where that catch pit will be and ease of inspection and clearance. As we've gone through already, it's a modular system for versatility. You can mix sizes. Again, what is being cast as samples by Atkins now, they've realised Lineworx, the versatility wasn't as much as what it could be. Atkins are now casting like half length units, half length lids, for you to be able to tie in a lot better if you are using different catch pit systems. The tie-ins and the transitions are a lot better now. I think the last sort of meeting or briefing we got from Lineworx, about 15 additional sections and accessories now that go onto the traditional one that Lineworx, that Atkins, mixing my words, that Andertons have cast for them to basically supplement the system to make it even more versatile than what it is now.
I've got a question from Logan.
Yeah.
Question I was going to ask. Yeah. Has the units been tested for lateral load capacity, and is there any documentation relating to?
Good question. That same question was asked by a Network Rail Works delivery team down in London to me a couple of months ago. Yes, structural loading, structural testing has been undertaken way back in 2013, obviously, to get the approval on the product. I can send over all of those calculations. So I have those. I sourced those from Lineworx when I was last asked a couple of months ago. So post this presentation, please send me over a list of all any documentation, supporting documentation you'd like on the system, and we can provide it.
Is there an option for
Yes, there is an option for a side outlet, not in the system I'm presenting here, but as part of the additional 15 accessories. I'm sure it's something like that Andertons are now casting for Lineworx. Yes, that has become an option because they need to increase the versatility. Yeah. If another question that may come up in terms of what's also been asked for it is hydraulic performance, so flow rate calculation and stuff like that. That's something that has been done ad hoc here and there. They are formalising that again as we speak. The process is being properly hydraulically tested now. As I said before, they hit it on the underground, and for about the last 10 years, it's been used so much predominantly on TfL infrastructure. But there's stuff now that Network Rail, or us, if you like, are asking for that under underground and TfL have never asked for in terms of getting the approvals down there. So yes, structural loadings, but now also hydraulic performance as well. We'll have data on that as well to share soon. It's strong and robust. You know, hot topic at the moment, and do I even bring it up? Putting composites and GRP, for example, in using catch pits and stuff like that. Currently, as we know, is a bit of a hot topic at the moment. With things going on with certain failures, we're not trying to sort of change hearts and minds here in terms of materials. We're putting concrete essentially into the track support zone. Could be sustainability wise. Do we go? Is concrete more sustainable? Is less sustainable than possibly GRP? Maybe, but essentially, the current climate in terms of certain issues with composites that we're coming across, especially within drainage. This is a really good alternative option to say, look, we're going with a sort of tried and tested here. It is lightweight. It's made from the same lightweight concrete that Andertons use within their cable trough. As I said, once you get to 600 series, you're pushing your luck a bit on manual handling, but the other two definitely, if necessary, can be installed just purely manpower, and it can be installed in narrow areas. Most recent project we've put in Network Rail side of things was Harbury track drainage scheme, which is over in the west, sort of Birmingham area for Murphy's. They specifically chose Lineworx through tight tunnel sections, like short tunnel sections, and because of for the cess drainage, and it was the corbelling and the curvature of the tunnel walls, they just couldn't get the dig down to install traditional pipe. So they just installed literally one base, one intermediate unit, and a lid, which took them only down to 500 mil, something like that, to then allow for that cess drainage there. So yes, is it a complete pipe replacement when you're coming just for big, huge, long, half kilometre sort of drainage replacement? Okay, maybe not, but definitely it has its place in those tight sort of narrow areas. Just a pretty standard detail design there. Just looking at the sea, pretty much reiterating what that short video showed you. Not sort of rewriting a textbook in any way in terms of drainage installation. And as you can see there, sort of a mock-up run on the photo on the right-hand side with the blue GRP gridded lid there that will sort of identify your catch pit. And accessories wise, this slide's definitely going to grow very, very soon. I say originally, up until the last couple of months, really, when they've really tried to develop the system, it was just a GRP grating for your catch pits, transitions from channel to pipe, etc., and then blanking plates. But yeah, watch this space very soon. They've really grown the versatility of the system into a lot more accessories and different sort of sections. So mechanical lifting. So as you can see there, just that scissor grab, kind of similar to a curb lifter, but that can be attached to either road rail plant or just traditional track plant. They will Lineworx or through us essentially when you come to install a run, they will hire that to you on a basically provide that on a hire basis basically during installation. So that will all come from Lineworx. And then really we just move on to a couple of slides that just show the previous projects that it's been installed on mass. You will see a lot of, as I say, a lot of TfL projects if you like. DLR, this is Beckton Depot. That's in 2021. We are still dealing with Beckton Depot in a huge way. And we know what now, 2024. So that was probably South Beckton Depot, North Phase 1. They've now completed South Phase 1. They're on North Phase 2, where there will be another few hundred metres of line work. Has already been spec'd in and will be installed next year. And then now opened up a new phase on the southern side of Beckton Depot. If you guys regionally wise might not know too much about it, it's my neck of the woods, but it's an extension of the DLR depot that will open up that DLR network, possibly even to another cross Thames crossing over to it goes from Greenwich now over to Docklands, but a lower Thames crossing as well. So it's a huge infrastructure wise and construction wise. It's a huge project for TfL. That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Beckton Gas Works. Yeah.
In that slide there, it looks like there's two channels.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Again, some more TfL stuff. London Underground here. Job at Ruislip there. Again, you can see there in those tight 6 foots, especially in depots and through like platform sections and tunnel sections where you've not got much between sleeper end. It works. It works really, really well. And you can't fit in what would be hard to fit in a traditional catch pit in there because of the width of it, because of the dimensions of it. An example, some tunnel sections, Mark Beak Tunnel down in Kent. They've done the 6 foot there. I believe the cess drainage is still due to go in for Lineworx. Again, as you can see, tight between sleeper ends. Essentially, the theory behind it is that because it's a narrower channel and because you haven't got to put it as deep, your excavation doesn't need to be as wide as what it was if you was putting traditional piping. So then you go into less risings, less disposal, less backfill, start to sort of save a bit of cost when you start to look at things like that.
You could simply start, okay, last day, in the insect, or without taking one of the trucks out.
Exactly. Yeah. Hence why it works well in those depot sections, platform sections, and tunnel sections. And yeah, again, just a bit of a promo. This one really, just to see who Lineworx have worked with previously. As you can see, most tier 1 contractors across quite a few various different regions there. But it's out there. It's been out there for 10+ years. Really heavy. I keep reading that in TfL infrastructure. It's easy. It's spec regularly on design now. There is a push from us and others to see if we can get it sort of a bit more utilised on overground or network rail infrastructure, really. And it's starting to happen. There's projects out there that are using it. And then we just go into some simple design. There are standard detailed designs available to anyone who needs to design it in, essentially. What was that as a UK DN one there? I think we've got a Docklands Light Railway there, but you can see the tie-ins are there into traditional to other system chambers and so on. But with the additional sections, we are making it much more versatile in terms of tying into different systems. And that's that. That's all I can tell you about Lineworx Concrete Drainage Channel.
Well, we've got an opportunity for anybody who wants to ask a question, please feel free to do so. So, again, either unmute the mic and ask the question, or
I'll have a look.
in the chat box. I'll start with so I was wondering, I don't know if it's simple, is it possible to get an idea of a typical cost saving like using channel drain over at pipes?
Yeah, you've got, yeah, no, it's a cost comparison or a cost analysis exercise, whatever you call. Absolutely. We've run one with the works delivery guys down in the south that wanted that as well. So yes, we'll put that together for you and we can provide that.
So I suppose it's a bit more complicated. Typically you get a percentage saving over.
Yeah.
That's as well as question there. So typically with pipe drainage system, the suggest we'll send the pipe in the 50 mil. Possibly do.
Yeah.
Would that be the same recommendation?
Absolutely, there's an opportunity to keep it shallower. It will just depend on essentially the flow and the water table you're trying to manage. There isn't a recommendation in terms of like loadings, if you like. Is that when you say that depth you just gave? Is that for water management or is that for Yeah, right. Okay. No, essentially, it will just go on exactly the water you're trying to manage. In terms of how deep you need to put the base section.
Finally, you showed us some examples of depots and dockers like that. You haven't put much of it in on network rails.
Again, yeah, there's been a couple of jobs. There was Mark Beach Tunnel there. That was a BAMS job down in Kent. There's been Harbury Track Drainage, which was, yeah, that was very recent. That was in the summer. That's for Murphy's. We have coming up Springwood, which is Roberts Bridge, which is down Kent and Sussex. That has about a 450 metre run of Lineworx in on that. That's part of the SID or the SRE, or whatever we want to call it, Bulk Fitzpatrick. It is spec'd, not as widely as what it is on the underground. Hence the drive to try and push the system along, really. But it is approved. It is out there on the network, just not as widely used.
Question from Neil Logan. With the multiple sections, are there any issues with maintenance getting?
No, nothing that's ever been raised previously. Is what I can really say on that one. Nothing that we can sort of envisage. Does he mean sort of the amount of ingress or egress, if you like, of the silts and the water?
I've just came off mute. Yeah, using mechanical means and jetting, which is a preference from most kind of PRE teams. Is it suitable to have just with the sections that the units come in with a smaller opening at the bottom? Is there any issues getting a jet hose from, say, one end to the other 100 metre run? Is that something that's cropped up at all?
No, never previously. Neil, was it? Sorry.
Neil.
Yeah, no, never previously. Neil, no.
Okay,
He should be fine.
Questions? So thanks very much for your time, giving us this interesting
Thank you all.
presentation. I apologize there weren't more people.
Thanks for having me.
Whatever you realised it.
That's all, mate. Honestly, I get to sit for 2 hours on a train back to Kent without a bit of peace and quiet, without kids screaming in my ear and hanging off me. So you take whatever you take, the couple of hours of peace, mate. It's not a problem.
See whether this is the right. This years now.
Yeah.
When I first started, charge rates were relatively,
Yeah.
and then there seems to have been a ripping it out and replacing it where it is replaced.
Yeah.
With pipe cash pits, and then the reason, maybe there's valid reason for that, but it seems like it's beginning to make a bit of a comeback.
Yeah.
It's good to see it because I can see, there are significant benefits with it.
Yeah.
Specifically in the depot, some of the applications.
I mean, with everything that's not what we're used to, if you essentially for every system or product, there's the right product for the right application. To say, if you're looking at a drainage renewal where you're throwing in 700 meters in a weekend, and it's just you've got to smash it in, then is there much that's going to be able to just replace that quick dig and lane pipe and just go? Possibly not this, but there are, but it can be incorporated into those big drainage renewals. Harbury was the perfect example. Harbury wasn't just pure Lineworx. Harbury was a huge track drainage scheme that went on for hundreds of meters. But there were these block sections of short tunnel sections over there that were sort of a block of 60, a block of 70, a block of 80 meters, where they incorporated Lineworx into the full run because it worked within that section. So definitely it's the right product or the right system for the right application thing.
Okay, so just before we finish, to invite any members of the audience that want to show a virtual round of applause or
Thank you for having me.
thanks for joining us.
Just last thing, I'll those 3 items. So what we're looking at: hydraulic performance, flow rates, structural calculations, and cost analysis. Bear with me, but I will get those. I'll gather those bits of information together and share those. I'll share those with you, Les, and then you can pass those on. Yeah.
And if anybody wants to share this presentation, it will be appearing on the PWI YouTube channel shortly. So if you've got to really tap on anything, then just log into YouTube.
And tell me that before I start.
Okay, right, that is this month's presentation. So thanks very much for joining.
Thank you.